All right, now it's said that distance makes the heart grow fonder, but it seems that the opposite also has a grain of truth to it. So with millions worldwide in isolation or quarantine, a major question arises. When this is all over, will there be a baby boom or a bunch of divorces? Joining us with answers is Israeli psychologist Dr. Kamila Forkosh Lavan. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us again. Now, everyone should stay home with the kids and the spouse nonstop. That's social distancing. Most of the time it's nice, but what do you do when unpleasant fights and conflict begins, especially between the kids?
So it's very important to, first of all, create good communication, and that will already help you release some of the stress and tension when the conflicts will happen, or maybe avoid them altogether. So if the conflict, let's say, happens with the kids, like what you just asked about, it's very good an opportunity to kind of, instead of just impose rules and impose things on them, to kind of catch them and be like, okay, let's figure out a solution. You figure out a solution. Figure out a solution for this problem. What would you, like, you're very, very smart. What would you come up with? Right now, we have a problem. You want this, he wants this. We have all these toys in the house, but you both want this one specifically. What can you come up with? Maybe you can play with together. Maybe you can share. Maybe you can take turns. What could be the solution? So as you're asking the question, you can also already post some of the answers to it, but ultimately let them choose and let them figure it out. You can also tell them, like, look, if you're not going to figure whatever this situation is, so I'm just going to take the toy. So it's a pity, because you can actually play, and it's very good that you have someone to play with. So there's a lot of people that don't have someone to play with. Like, highlight the fact how lucky they are to have one another, and that you're family, and that you love each other, and this is such a good opportunity to be together, and that will hopefully help. As far as adults go, or families in general, like, we don't really know each other. We spend time at work. We come home for a few hours before the children already go to sleep. We're so busy in making sure there's food, there's this, there's a bath time, things like that. We don't really sit down and talk because we're always in a rush. So now there's an opportunity finally to actually not rush, sit down and talk to each other, ask each other questions, see what the other person likes, get to know who you live with, because ultimately these days and times we don't really know who we live with, and that includes children. Find out what they want, who they are, and it will be easier for you to avoid conflict.
All right, so my last question is, what about professional relationships? How are they suffering or maybe even benefiting from this extended isolation?
Professional relationships are very difficult, of course, also because, again, a lot of people are not at work right now at all. We all went to work virtually, even us here virtually. So it's very important to keep these relationships going, email each other, WhatsApp each other, do Skype or WhatsApp video calls. You can do on Zoom, you can do together groups. Also on WhatsApp, you can do groups. Do keep in touch, do talk to each other, even about silly things, about things that happened before or what your plans are. It's very, very important to stay in touch throughout this whole entire time.
All right, Kamila, thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe.
Thank you, you too.